All right, all right. You're most welcome to the Transformation Professionals Club Entrepreneurship Program, where we host inspirational entrepreneurs like Aisha, whom we are hosting today. So this program was initiated as a result of trying to help professionals who are trying to think of doing business as an option as they try to manage the ongoing crisis. And even for those that may have looked for jobs and have failed, we're trying to create a culture and an environment that people can now start to look at business as an option. So today we are humbled to have Aisha Nabwanika, who is the CEO and founder of Ewaffe Cultural Village. She'll be sharing with us her journey, how she started, what are some of the opportunities that you can also tap into, what exactly can you be able to need to know, especially around this industry of tourism, among others. So as I invite her, maybe just to give you context for whatever she runs, I just wanted to share with us one of her promotional videos of our sites, such that you're able to, okay. All right, so that is a video from Ewaffe, and that shows some of the insights and experiences that guests that visit the site experience. Hopefully we can have some of you visit the place. But today we want to just get into the gist of the story behind Ewaffe. Where did the idea start from? How did Aisha get to think about this? How does she transition from being an employee, the tourism sector, and moving to running this business? So allow me this time to invite Aisha Nabwanika to come through and be able to share with us. Aisha, you're most welcome, and thank you so much for accepting to speak to us this evening. We're always glad to have people like you who took the brave move, who are shining, who are doing great things. We understand the journey of entrepreneurship with its ups and downs, not a bed of roses, but you've shined through, and we've seen you win various awards, be recognized different stages. And here we are. We want to just hear from you. So you're most welcome, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Samuel. I don't know whether I am loud and clear. Please just confirm to me.
Yes, on my side, you're loud and clear. Our audience, are you able to hear? You could just tap into the chat box. If you can hear Aisha very well? Would say yes. Okay, so
Right.
says yes.
Thank
Great.
you, Nicholas. So, a very good evening to everybody. My name is Aisha Nabwanika, and I'm the CEO and the founder of Ewaffe Culture Village. Basically, Ewaffe means our home. So I do sell what happens in our home or in a typical Ugandan home. Um, I will drill a little bit on what Ewaffe does. We are located in Nagalama, Mukono. That's along Kayunga Road. It's about 1.5 hours from Kampala along Jinja Road via Kayunga. And we basically do showcase a traditional lifestyle of an indigenous Ugandan. We have activities uh, ranging from a farm tour where we do showcase our various herbal medicines and how they work. You know, back then there were no hospitals, so we are trying to revive how the herbal medicines were actually working for our great parents back then. So we do showcase that through the Medicinal Garden Trail. We do have the traditional dances. I think you've seen a snippet as our visitors come in. We do welcome them with a vibrant Uganda dance, where the young girls and boys, welcome them warmly for them to feel at home. They also sometimes join in. Thereafter, sometimes we treat them to some banana juice as a tradition of a typical, Ugandan home, that they have to serve you something to drink. It could be some pot water, it can be banana juice, whichever is available. But it's so for us, it's an experience for our visitors because they get to experience what exactly happens as they arrive into, our home. We also have aspects of preparing local food. You've seen, I think, a little bit of the luombo, the significance of luombo. Sometimes we prepare a lot of things in our homes, but we don't know the significance. So we do bring out these stories, these traditional stories, these significances, and then we show them to the world that, yes, this is our culture. As we're preparing luombo, this is what happens. We do have fishing. We do it as a sport, but then also bring out the relevance of indigenous fishing. Uganda is blessed with a variety of water bodies, being that we have the longest river, the source of the longest river in the world. Yeah, in Jinja, we also have the second largest freshwater lake, that is Lake Victoria. We have the second deepest lake in southwestern Uganda, that is Lake Bunyonyi. So we have so many, water bodies. So fishing was one, or is still one of the economic activities of indigenous Ugandans. So we practice that at some of our ponds, and it's an experience our visitors go through. In addition, we also have games. We have a couple of games. So Wepena, you remember those traditional games back then. So we engage our visitors in that. We have sessions of Senga Koja. As someone was growing up, these are sessions we used to do. You got your auntie for the ladies, and then the males used to go to their uncles. Just to learn about sex education, prepare you as a woman, prepare you as a man to be. So we bring back these kind of stories, these kind of mentorships to our visitors. So in a nutshell, it is usually a whole day of culture activities, of immersive experiences, of engaging with community. We have village walks where you walk for about 300 meters to and fro. You check out other homestays, how they're living. As we go, we also learn many things along the way. You find ant hills, you try to explain, you see a lot of things. As you know, in the village lifestyle, there's a lot you can see. So we do showcase that to our visitors in a whole day. So my kind of experience lasts for about 5 to 6 hours on a given day. And that also includes a meal, the award-winning meal, the traditional luombo and the local food. So everything is local, it's village lifestyle, and yeah, that is what I do for a living. Why Ewaffe? Maybe let me go straight back to that. My journey started, actually, I want to say that Coach Sam is my OB from MOOCs, those who could know us, though he was, I think, a class higher above than me. I think I was a bit 1 year below. And I remember him being a very good accountant, and I think he's still, given what he's doing. I was a very good accountant, and I'm still a good one, but I am not fully practicing accountant. I did a BCom in MOOCs. I got a second class upper in MOOCs. And I remember even in the Association for Accountants, I served as a vice president. Some, if I remember very well, I was the vice president then. Life is so flexible, it's so dynamic. So if it is dynamic, as an individual, you have to be flexible. So leaving MOOCs with my very, very good degree, before even we graduated, you know, that period is a very, very, I could say, intriguing period, because you're leaving school fully and you're transiting into the world. And most of us, what we are thinking about at that particular time is, what next? Where am I going to work? Most of us come from very far areas in Karamoja and all that, and you sometimes never want to go. You never want to go back home. I mean, the parents have educated you, you be like, okay, now I need to make value out of myself. So I want to tell you, with my second class upper, I applied to a number of organizations, but unfortunately I didn't get. I remember we had a target my group, there's a group of friends we were with, and we applied to about 50 different companies. And trust me, none of those companies went through. I remember even KPMG, there are those accounting firms, they used to come, but unfortunately nothing came through. So here we are. So when I was still at university, I used to do small gigs, yeah? Because when I was studying, I was on government sponsorship by then. When I was studying, I was doing gigs. I used to have some boutiques in Ntinda, we sell clothes. And you get a car, 10K, 15K here and there, and you could start the campus lifestyle where you have some cash on you. But still, in those gigs of mine, since I was accounting in the making, I used some accounting for some small associations within the institution, yeah, within MOOCs. There was an institution, I think it's still there, it's called the Corporate League, yeah. So, and one of the was one of our lecturers, and I said, but could you help us do some accounts by financial statements, balance sheet, and all that for association? I said yes. So I took on the role, and I did this thing for second year, and then in my third year still. So they really were happy with my work. So to take you back, when I'd written all these applications and them through, yeah, I got a phone call. I remember in June. Remember, we had finished school like in I think May, but around June, July. This is when I got a phone. One Mwami Kawede, or called Mr. Kawede, who had gotten a project in the tourism fraternity and needed to have like an admin assistant, be in the office to run things, And it was a very huge project, though it had time limit for only 1 year. So, and asked me, do you have something to do? And no, not at the moment. However, I'd gotten another call from the bank. That was Unite. There's a bank, this one here, Kampala. So the bank offer was more of sales, yeah, looking for accounts and all that. But then when this gentleman called me and told me there's this opportunity to be a project assistant, I was like, okay. I think this, in terms of pay and then also in terms of engagement, because that was perceived in the project, it was meeting people, meeting donors, you're meeting different stakeholders in the tourism industry. The project was run by Uganda Tourism Association, but it by that person who was the same, still the chairperson of the other corporate league. I used to do that. So that's where the whole thing started. So then I joined the tourism fraternity. So joining UTA was really a very great opportunity for me, because working at the apex body to meet a couple of stakeholders. You know, tourism is a wide industry and has a very wide value chain. Yeah. Because this is where you're working with hoteliers. You can imagine all hotels in Uganda, you have at least a linkage of one or two. So it brought together two operators. Two operators are these people with tours and travel. I think you see them in your different localities here and there. So there's an association which they call the Association of Uganda Tour Operators. So that's where they come together as the people in the tour operations business. And then now the association, subscribes to to UTA, to the association where I was working. Then it also has, being an apex body, it brought together hoteliers, tour operators, guides. So guides are people who guide the tourists, you know, in the parks, who drive them around and all that. Then it also brought together travel agents. Travel agents are those who do the ticketing. They are different from tour operators. Yeah. I think I'm also trying to answer the different opportunities now in tourism. So you see where you could fit. Can be a hotelier, can be a tour operator, you can be a guide, you can be a travel agent, you can be a culture or community tourism-based initiative. So now this is where we fall, like where Ewaffe falls. Yeah. So these are activities. You have a Rolex thing somewhere, you're showcasing anything within the community aspect. You know, tourism is everybody's business, so anything can be turned into, can work together with tourism. The people in the art and culture, the arts and crafts, that's also totally different. For it has a bit of the product component, because it deals with physical product, but the rest are services. There are people in the transportation, cars, safari vans, buses, and all that. So being at UTA and serving as a project assistant gave me an opportunity to network. That is one of the things. I think that's one of my biggest thing, like could be achievement, that I was able to network with different bodies, because being at the apex body, you could work with government. So that was our ministry. Because Ministry of Finance comes in, you work with private sector foundation, you work with different donors, because being an association, we're not for profit. So mainly our funding came through projects. So I got skills of writing projects. I was, of course, a member, being on different projects for World Bank, for Enable, for, you know, Trademark East Africa, there were a couple of them. So I got skills. So as I was working, I learned the skills of project management, of project implementation, and reporting. So I worked. It was a very good job. It wasn't really so hectic. It was of meeting people. You could be in hotel after hotel. Today you're in Serena, the other day you're in Chibo, the other, meeting people and talking tourism, and then also touring the country, because that was part and parcel of it. Because hoteliers used to call you, come and check out our hotel. Tour operators, you know, different destinations, national parks, with who and all that. So working there, I appreciated that indeed our country is beautiful, and it is endowed with variety of resources that can turn this country around. Okay, guys, this country is so beautiful. We have 10 national parks. We have 12 reserves. We do have the highest number of mountain gorillas in Bwindi and Gahinga. More than 50%. You know, mountain gorillas in the entire world are only found in 3 countries. That is DR Congo, Rwanda, and then Uganda. But as a country, Uganda, we have the highest number of gorillas, about 60% of the entire population. So that makes us, it gives us an advantage. And currently our gorilla permit goes for $700. You can imagine, for just watching the gorillas for 1 hour, someone pays $700. And in Rwanda, it is even worse. They pay 1,500, almost double the price, to just get a permit to go and track gorillas. So from that endowment, we also have, I talked about the source of the longest river in the Nile. That is untapped beauty. Okay. Now look at the biggest, the thunderous Mukono Falls. People travel miles and miles to come and watch, the Mukono Falls. But given the beauty of its nature, of our nature, this culture. Now, this is something that caught my attention, that caught my heart and everything. Guys, Uganda as a country, okay, we have over 54 different cultures, okay? All of them are unique in the way of life, in the norms, in the values, in the dress code, in the food, in the, name it. We speak totally different languages, but we are all Ugandans, okay? And this is what makes us Ugandans, with our heterogeneity, okay? We are all Ugandans. So with all our beauty, there was nothing, or there was less being done in developing our cultures as a tourism product. I know most of you have been to the museum. You've been to our markets, because you see them, this is a lifestyle you've grown in. So sometimes people think it's an everyday thing, but to a tourist who comes into a country, it's something totally new. It is something to learn. It is something to immerse. If it is food, it's something for them to taste and go back with that feel that, hey, when I was in Uganda, I ate in Senene, the grasshopper, which only comes around in the month of November. So as I was working at UTA, I noticed that gap. Okay, how did I notice it? From the exposure visits you get, I got opportunities, travel around the country, the world. I traveled to the United States, I traveled even within the region here around Kenya, some parts of Europe. So, and then also, of course, reading, you compare notes. How are other people doing it? What are they selling? What are their key selling points? Because, guys, let me tell you, literally, there are some countries that do not have even any wildlife, for example, okay? Look at Paris. What is Paris, France known for? Okay, it's for their perfumes, their good, food and pizza, and so that's exactly what they do, is what they are packaging as a tourism product. Look at Italy. Italy is also packaging its wine. So when you look at the tour companies in these countries, they are packaging, these historical, cultural kind of operations. Okay, those who've traveled, you'll definitely be my witness. But then also, just come here in Kenya, people are packaging the Maasai experience. But in Uganda, back then, when you were talking about a culture tour, where would you take a person, apart from a museum whereby can only just pay, I don't know how much the kids pay to enter the museum. I think over it's like 2,000 or 5,000 or less. But I thought we were doing so less with our cultures, and hence it was high time to do something. So that was in the business reason. But then before the business reason, there's also a personal reason as to why you're entering into business. So personally, I had worked in UTA for about 6 years. I felt I've done everything, like I'm doing the same thing, but then that time of COVID, I also thought maybe, let me start up something. So I've told you the business reason. So the person reason was me to start up something that can outlive me, right? That can outlive me, but also benefit a bigger number of people. And that was more to benefit the grassroots community. So that is why I am right now, we are working with people at community level. Most of the employees at Ewaffe, they are from within the community. I think you've seen the old women. Most of them, they never knew that they could even now be the superstars. But I told them, here is the thing. You have the knowledge. The knowledge, actually, me, I've also just gotten to learn it. But it is the cultural values are deeply rooted, or they are deeply they are being given out by these indigenous people, old men, old women. I mean, because they've seen it or they've lived it, you understand? So 80% of the staff at Ewaffe, they are from within the community of Nagalama, and the business, the supplies, food, and everything is all gotten from within the spaces of Nagalama, the village of Nagalama. And it's something, I think they've also started realizing that this thing is beyond Aisha, as of course someone who thought about it, but it is for us once we harness it. That is the joy I always want to see, and it's something I'm trying to drive bigger, to impact more people, to employ more village people, to employ more youth, more women who really think, yeah, Komasa, Soma, and life, maybe it's the end of it with me, but they are now, Ewaffe has created opportunities for them, and even still creating more for these people. So that is the story of Ewaffe Culture Village. We started operating in 2022. Of course, COVID time, 2019, that's when the idea came up. 2019, started doing something small, with a little budget. It's not that we really had bugs. There's nothing. People who have reached at Ewaffe can be my witness. Yeah, it's not big. You won't find so many buildings that maybe I started with millions and millions of money. No, it was a matter of just getting, just starting with the little I had. Truth to be said, I started with the little savings I had. And of course, with support of family. Your family should be your best ally, because you need them. You cannot push through alone. So my family came on handy. Those who know Ewaffe, you've seen that I work with my sisters, some of them. So they were there when we were starting, because they'll understand. They understand the struggles and all that. So we started. I registered the company in 2023, but I had already started a little bit early in the late 2022. Okay. So, but we officially registered in 2023 and got our official very first customers on the 1st of July 2023. But when I started, I didn't open fully in terms of, I didn't launch. I actually haven't done a launch for Ewaffe. Reason, it's still work in progress, though we are receiving visitors. The very first group I invited, it was for tour operators. Why? Tour operators are the people who develop itineraries and who sell these itineraries. Itineraries, I mean the different, an itinerary means how a customer or a tourist moves from the airport to maybe visits the Windy, then goes over to, the movements. So it's like a program in short. So these tour operators, you've seen them, the tours and travel, they do sell these itineraries. So they're the very first people I invited. I invited a few of them. I told them, people, come. They actually made a payment. They paid for their transportation. They came. And then they said, Aisha, this is what has been missing in the industry. I got very good feedback on the very first day of the test. And of course, now the rest is history. We started moving, regardless that we haven't yet completed. I can't say we are complete. No, there's a lot to be done. even in infrastructures, everything, the product itself is still work in progress. But yes, at the level it satisfies the customer's needs. And yeah, here we are as Ewaffe. So in 2024, we won, I think, one award. No, 2 awards, 2024. Yeah, you can imagine we're just 1 year old, but given the sharings, people really, I didn't have a bigger budget. I actually don't have a bigger budget for marketing, but it's through the referrals, the people who have come that are spreading this gospel. It's through the people who have come that are posting pictures, we reshare. So we have used social media. To me, I will credit social media for my marketing efforts, because trust me, I've never put a budget that this is for my, I mean, it's not even there. So it is through social media that our biggest marketing efforts have been achieved, because through the referrals, the videos people share and reshare, that we have been able to keep getting customers up to today. But of course, also the tour operators, I told you, testing with your customers is very key. You don't just bring up something and throw it in the market. I invited them who tested the product, and they kept on giving me reviews and recommendations to keep improving, you know, and there are people who are selling it. So I also give credit to them, because I mean, they've supported me so much. But then also, there's a bit of okay, I think it's sorted. Thank you. So yes, where was I? So basically, that is how Ewaffe started. I was talking about last year, we got 2 awards, and the major one being one from the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. That is our mother ministry for the sector, where we were awarded for the best culture experience at World Tourism Day celebrations. Every year we celebrate the UN World Tourism Day on the 27th of September. So yes, I was invited, and we were recognized as the best culture tourism experience for the year. But then in the same year, we also got one for Ekula Pearl of Africa Tourism Experience Award. But then to me, I see these awards come from the authenticity of the product, the hospitality of the product. Those two are the major key, because Uganda as a country is known for being hospitable. Like, we are hospitable people, so we should showcase this in all our service offering. We are very hospitable people. So to me, I would think Ewaffe got those awards. It's not for the number of years it has existed. No, we had barely made even 2 years. So yes, we won two of those awards. There are a couple of partnerships we've signed here and there. We've gotten schools. Recently, we just got some students from the Notre Dame University of the Notre Dame in the US. We've gotten partnership. Tourism Board has visited UWEC, Wildlife Authority. A couple of corporate organizations have visited. They reach out to you. So as people are interacting with us, they've asked us, you could add team building. Now we also think, how do we add in this to serve better our customer needs? People have started, we can do chisakate. So one thing I could advise young starters here is that start at whatever level you are. I'd never thought that would go big or would grow bigger at the speed we are on, but it's from the interactions you get from customers that you're able to now keep expanding. You're able to also add in other products, to develop, to diversify in the terms of offering. But one thing I want to urge you, culture as a product for tourism is still a low-hanging fruit for this country, and also for many of the African countries. And generally, rural tourism initiatives, they are still, because like I told you, tourism can be anything. You could have a skill in pottery. You could have a skill in making that Rolex, you could have a skill in maybe painting or whichever. So all these are things that make you or make us or make a given community. So this is something someone can package and make it a tourism product. You just need to be allocated on very well, or even you can offer it online, or you can put it on the major highway to tourism circuits. Because right now our tourism as a country is still nature-based, because for years we've focused so much on nature because we are endowed so much. So people, sometimes when you're too much beautiful, you can forget some aspects of your beauty. You understand? So being that we have the mountains, we have the water bodies, we have the gorillas, we have the endowed, wildlife. So you forget that you even have the beautiful culture. So that is the state where our country is. We are beautiful, though the support towards exploiting these resources sometimes is lacking. Um, but this year I think I saw in the NDP4, they've kind of prioritized tourism, and also in the tenfold growth strategy. Maybe something, we will improve. But right now, as a country, we are still standing at about 1.3 million visitors annually. So there's still a lot which can be done. And this can be done by me and you, a young person right there, Charity, Patricia, Deborah, you know. But then before I start mentioning people's names, it also goes back to what do you want? Is it something you see for yourself? All right. Is it something you'd love to engage in? Or is it something some people invest into tourism as a retirement project or whichever, but it would be nice to start at an early age, learn, go through the challenges, fail, stand up, try again, push through, as time goes on, you definitely pick up, you get the tactics to grow strong institutions which can grow beyond you. So as I speak now, Ewaffe is making its, I think 2 years next month, officially 2 years, yes. Okay, from registration, but from operation, it will be making like a bit 3 years. Yes, and we are growing stronger. Ever since I think I left employment, I don't think I can fully now go back, because I think I've noticed where I should be. There's a very good, I think, I don't know whether some shared with you what they call the Ikagai. I think this thing makes a lot of meaning. I'll urge you to just check it out. What is your purpose? What are your skills? What are you passionate about? What do you love doing for money? So there's an intersection. As an individual, you need to go back, reflect a bit on who you are, what you want to do. Because for the years we'll definitely run. We were with some, I think, like 10 years back, or if not now, 12 from Mobs. But now, you remember those songs we sang? I want to be a nurse, and what we are already in the future, and this is the future. So, so it will also now for you just gotten out. By the time you know it, it will be 10 years, it will be 2 decades, 3 decades, you're 50. So it would be nice, at least, even if you're in employment, it is okay, because employment is very necessary. I don't advise someone actually to just get out of employment and start business, because it's not a very good decision. It's tough, most especially when you're starting. In the very first 3-4 years, it's tougher, because you've not yet realized there are so many challenges. You do not have you do not have a stable income. You're not sure about tomorrow, your capital and all that. So if you have a job, please get that job, but then also sit back and be like, okay, beyond this job, is there something else I can do from my passion? Are you a good salesperson? Are you a good writer? Are you skilled at tailoring or whichever? Trust me, in these 24 hours, you can't fail to get 2 hours to dedicate to something you love. And every time you do something you love, you'll definitely have motivation. You'll definitely think through, because that is the gift God gave you. And we are all gifted differently. And I believe we can exploit our gifts for the benefit of others, for the benefit of ourselves, and then also leaving a lasting legacy. Yes, Samuel.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Great sharings. And you share passionately. I think one of the things that you really honest about is as we grow old, some of our dreams that we really had, we can no longer be able to really achieve them. So it's very important for you, somebody to reflect about their lives and think, what can they do with their lives and what kind of impact do they want to be able to create? So for me, I just want to appreciate the sharing. And thanks so much to our audience who are joining this session live and those that will be watching the replay. Thank you so much. And as Aisha shares, we'll also be able to just get some questions here and there in case there's some questions as we proceed through the session. Yeah. So yes, Aisha, over to you as the questions come through. If any comes through, then I'll be able to.
Okay, so I'll just share something a little still on the value chain of tourism.
Yeah.
So someone can tap into tourism. Like I said, you can be a tour operator. Starting a tour company is not as hard as being an accountant. Being an accountant, you need to first study the CPAs and all that. But this is something you can start even from your bedroom.
Yeah.
Have a website, try to get you get a license from Uganda Tourism Board, and you start up a business. You can be a transport owner, or transport provider rather. You have vans, you have, even as good as a saloon car, start with Uber or airport taxi, all the business ventures can start at a minimal, capital. Or someone can be a culture expert like myself, a culture provider, tourism provider. Me, perhaps I'm in Uganda, but maybe you're from Busoga. Busoga now is even untapped. There's a lot, and there are a lot of people who go there for the Nile. So as they've gone for rafting, you can now turn them to Ige Palace or whichever, and show them your very nice, Busoga culture. Yes. And so many other regions. It could be perhaps that skill. You're very good in making Rolex. Rolex is a very signature meal for Uganda here. So it's something that people would want to see, to learn even how to make it. It's an experience. In tourism, we are selling experiences. Okay. So it's not brick and mortar that they come and see. No, it is the story. We are telling stories, and people love to listen to this. People want to engage. These days, they want to immerse or immersive activities. So, and then right now we are turning into sustainable tourism. So people are traveling to impact others. If you can turn something around, impacting community, impacting underserved, creating more jobs, creating communities, and also the planet, things with climate change. So if something is that, that is where the tourism is growing. Now the rich, not really rich, but people who have some good monies or some good capital, you can go into accommodation, you can go into lodging, you can go into getting concessions in the national park, because these places are there. We still need brands of hotels. Yeah, we need the theaters in this country. We still need, those big chains of hotels. We still need them in the country. So all these are opportunities. Opportunities. Look at our water bodies, Lake Victoria. Nothing, it's not getting a lot for the country. Water bodies, there are no bigger vessels, there are no other water activities. All those are resources that are really, really untapped, and it's the youth, we who have to come up with the ideas, come up with the solutions, and all this is tourism. So it is something someone can take it on. Going back to a little bit on the passion, I would want you people to, I think most of us here are young. Most of the people in the call are young people. Perhaps they're just starting out with life. please value that job on, but work there as, don't sacrifice everything for the job. Do your job, connect with your employees at work level, and then go home about who you are. Your family, of course, is very, very most important, because these are the people who will be with you in hard times and all that. So think through, if you think through how you want to live life, how you want to create, what businesses you want to create, be supportive to each other, and then seek mentorship. Sam, I want to thank you on this note that you started this. To me, I think this is one form of mentorship that people are getting free of charge, which is really something good. My journey has been really uplifted by mentorship. I took on opportunities. It's not that we've grown out of the blue. No, I took on opportunities. I applied for, there's a high innovate, NSSF high innovate. I applied for it before I even made, but in the criteria, they asked for 2 years. But I was the first person to get those funds because I was smart and I knew what exactly I wanted. Don't fear. If I just do that story, it can be for another day, but just how I went through before I turned the 2 years. I was actually, I think, like 6 months old. They needed businesses of 2 years. But because as an accountant, I knew my books well and all that. So I went through. Please look out for spaces where you want to be. Don't go for everything. If you go for everything, you'll get lost.
Yeah.
So if you're in accounting space, look out for people who are in the accounting space. Look out for opportunities. Every day, at least apply for something in your field. That is something I always do. Yeah, I see a mentorship of opportunity. Don't shy away. If you really have the, you can definitely take that time. Open up, be open to these opportunities. There's a site I always love. It's called Opportunities for Africans, but there's so many opportunity days. You people on LinkedIn, there are a lot of opportunities in the sector where you're lying. If it's agriculture, and agriculture is enormous, there is so much with the value addition. In the IT, ICT, there's also a lot you can do. Look globally, even don't look at only Ugandan level. Look at globally, what are some of the opportunities at African level. I just landed on a link last year. It's called the Academy for African Women Entrepreneurs. I applied like any other because I have had my information, but I went through. And this year, I think in April, we were in Ghana and we were with the fellow women on the African continent. Do you know how beautiful that is? Listening from someone in Ghana, what are their challenges? How are they solving it? You listen to someone from South Africa. So you have a network at Africa. If you get a challenge now, at least I can call someone from Botswana and be like, hey, sister, because we actually call ourselves sisters. So you see that cross-cutting kind of knowledge you get. But then also here in Uganda, there's a lot, there's so many hubs, there's Outbox, there is Incubate there. These are free spaces also that also help you to organize books, to organize your business plans, your pitch decks, your pitching, your visibility, they help marketing. I told you, I never have marketing budgets, but I'm able to get customers. But now if I have real budget, what I could do with it, perhaps, So these opportunities are there within. Please be in the circles of the people who are able to lift you up, give you money. You can give your friends or your spouse and tell, no, this is the idea I have, and this is my pitch deck. But of course, if it sees sense, he will also give you that money if you need like a 10 million or 20 million. But if you just tell him, honey, give me money for what? Without even a pitch deck, So be very intentional on what you're doing. And that is really the limit.
All right. So thank you so much, Aisha. There are some questions that have come here, so we could answer them as we wind down. So one of the questions is from Nora. I think Nora was saying thanks for the session. She has really been blessed. She's into human capital development. She was just, I think, are you people available for lessons and knowledge capacity Okay, I don't know if we'll be able to answer that as well. There's also somebody called Tinka. I think she's a founder of Kigezi Girls Culture Foundation, and its purpose is to harmonize our culture with modern trends. I need your contacts for purposes of networking to enhance her foundation. I think you'll be able to give that. And the other is just a comment, I think, that came through from Ruth. Says, thank you for keeping our culture alive through this venture. So you could just try to comment on those. There's another question that may be.
Could you just help me go question by question? I'm kind of not speaking.
Okay. Let me see. Let me see. So one of the questions is the contact. I know you give us the contact,
Okay,
but
I'll just chat.
yeah, yes. So one of the questions is from Nora, who was asking if I told you are available for lessons and knowledge capacity. I don't know if
I think that for specifically cultural tourism development, yes. In terms of this other capacity, I think Transformation Professionals Club is also here for some different capacity buildings in different areas. So I think you can reach out
yeah.
to Coach Sam or myself if it is in the area of cultural tourism support.
Okay. Thanks on that. Yes, as the Transformation Professionals Club, we do business development services to help you on other aspects of marketing, systems, operations, finance, and where you need specific things to culture. I think Aisha would be in the right place. So there's a question here from Deborah, which is from her heart. How do I get back to realize my passion after breakdown? I
How do you get back a passion after broke? Okay, that's a very good one. My sister Deborah, what I can tell you, let me tell you, breakdowns are always there. Okay, you're going to. This is not the very first one, and it's not going to be the very last one.
yeah.
You're going to get so much breakdowns in business, whereby you even have to question yourself that did I really make the right decision? So, but one thing I have to tell you, it is at that point that you really feel things are refusing. It's where now the time point is going to come from. It's just a matter of persistence. Okay. If you still love what you're doing, if you still see future, everything is just starts from a dream. If you really see something big, you can make it. You can be that entrepreneurial person you're thinking about. Okay. It's
Yeah.
failing, let it be just, I think you've listened to some of these things. Failing, let it just be part of the journey. It should not be the stop. Why do you stop? No, everyone is struggling. And don't even say people are laughing at me because you don't know what they're actually going through. You understand? So please be in the spaces, have a mentor, have someone to talk to when you feel, you may call it a breakdown, but it's just some simple challenge. Okay, so that's why now you have to have someone to speak to, a business mentor, and then also be in the spaces of people of like mind. So I don't think it's really a breakdown, because in business, to me, if you're calling it a breakdown, it's just a challenge to grow, to make you stronger. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Then says thank you, Aisha, for this sharing and the team. It's really great work. Beatrice says, hello, Aisha. Thank you for sharing. Mine is on how you manage your clients aside from social media. You mentioned family, the instances where they're not supportive. What happens? My passion is helping young girls and women embracing skills. So you could also share.
So on the aspect of managing customers, so my customers, social media just helps us to, of course, it's a marketing channel. People see our content out there and they would want to experience. So they will reach out, okay? They reach out either through our email or through our phone contacts. So you need to be updated. Like you need to be someone who checks their phone all the time, email all the time, or even social media messages. Yeah, if it's WhatsApp, if it's Facebook in the messages and all that, because a booking can come in through there. So, but then I also talked about the tour operators. For them, they call directly because they already know our product and they appreciate it. So they'll definitely let us know that, hey, we have a booking. So all our bookings are prior. For now, there are no walk-ins because we have to prepare for you. We have to make for you that award-winning Luwombo and all that. So you need to have booked prior, at least a minimum of 24 hours prior. That's a day for us to be able to prepare for you. But then also we have our review points for our customers after the service. Excuse me, they review us on TripAdvisor, and then also on Google My Business. There are also options for review where we hear from them, their feedback and all that. I don't know whether that answers that particular question to Beatrice.
Yes. I think I don't know if she
About
was
family, there
the
are
one on
families,
family.
yes, that are non-supportive, true. But yes, personally, I've never experienced that, but I've seen it, that there are some people, I've actually seen it in the community. This is something that is going to help them. But since they've seen you grow up as a young person, they are resistant, they'll do a lot of things, they won't definitely give in their support. But one thing, as many are not on your side, you'll definitely have one or two who are on your side. Please move with those. Okay. If family is not, move on with the friends. It's again, it's until then when they'll see that you're actually creating value, that they'll change and understand that, okay, now what Beatrice was doing is could actually benefit us. You understand? And then also show that this thing is helping you. You understand? For example, I can give a case in context that when I faced some resistant communities in terms of working together and all that, it's not until I engaged some of them, I bought I would buy their purchase, we buy their supplies and all that. So it's them themselves that now spread the word. Hey, I was rearing my chicken, but Ewaffe took 10 of them. So now also it opens up other people's eyes. So you'll definitely find those who are willing to.
All right, thank you so much. So Aisha shared her contact here. It is 0704 08 0958. 0704 08 0958. Ewaffe is on various social media platforms, and they also have a website, which is www.ewaffe.ug. So you can be able to reach out to them and experience, but also, to connect with Aisha. So Aisha, most of these are really thank you so much. Mukama, Patricia, they're all saying thank you. Lydia says thank you so much, Aisha and Coach Samuel, for such inspiring sessions. Truly grateful, especially transitioning from university to the corporate world and considering challenges youth face today with employment opportunities. Thank you so much for joining in. So most of these are just appreciate. I don't know if there's any question I've left out, but much appreciated everyone for coming through to this session. And we really want to appreciate our speaker today, Aisha, for creating time to come and share. I know that you're busy, but being able to come through here and share and encourage other entrepreneurs, I think it's something that we don't take for granted. And I know that we'll be seeing more other people who will be able to pick up the spirit and do greater things for our country. So thank you so much for all that you've shared. So Aisha, you could be able to just give your closing remarks. Somebody was saying, share your
Okay.
contact again. So I'm going to be able to share it once again. And I think lastly, there's a question that has just run through. What advice would you advise the senior six vaccine? I think focused on investing in tourism? Is it worth a career path for sustainability, or it is always side hustles? So maybe that.
Wow, it's not a side. Interesting.
That could give you
tourism is a major in the sector in the country. It's not really side hustle. It's not only for leisure. It's real lucrative business once you also take it serious. So yes, if the person intending to study tourism, please advise them, and we are also here to also advise them if they can reach out to us. So my closing remarks, I want to thank you, Samuel, for the opportunity to share with the young people. I love always mentoring in my space, in the tourism space. For those who wish to visit Ewaffe, we are located in Nagalama. That's along Kayunga Road. It's very near around. It's about 1.5 hours from Kampala. So you can bring family. We start from 5 people minimum. We charge 80,000 Uganda shillings for fellow Ugandans, domestic customers. And if you have any international visitors or references, you also bring them. We charge only $50 per person, one equivalent 190,000 per person. And this includes the entire experience for Ewaffe, a 5-hour experience, including award-winning Luombo. You can find it at Ewaffe. We also do school tours. Those with schools or linkages to schools, please, let's do business. We do heritage tours for children who can come and experience culture, eat. You can check out some of the information on our socials, on our YouTube, and all the other, just type in Ewaffe Culture Village online. You'll see all about us. So I'll be waiting for your call, your connection. I'm also on LinkedIn, Aisha Nabwanika, and then also Ewaffe still is on LinkedIn. So let's connect, and yeah, at least I know each of us can help someone in one way or the other, and that is why we were created, to help each other for the better. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thank you so much. There are some follow-up comments here that came through, but one of them that makes me smile is, "We'll visit Ewaffe soon. Enjoyed your story to the dot coming over there." Biamukama, who was asking about what offers do you have for TPC members?
That's a good one, Sam. Actually, we can make something for TPC members. We'll have a very, very big discount. So let's plan something in our group. Yes.
Okay, great. So we'll be able to plan and catch up. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming through. Much pleasure to always host you and have you here as you follow through the conversations. We understand that you're always sometimes busy, but being able to come through here and we learn one or two things. I think that is something that we don't take for granted. So to those that are not part of the Transformation Professionals Club, and this is your first time joining through our webinars, we have a WhatsApp group, which I encourage you to be part of, where we interact on a weekly basis. So I shared the link that you can use to join, fill in the form, and at the end of the form, you'll be able to see at least a link into the WhatsApp group. So thank you so much for joining through, and may God bless you. Thank you so much, Aisha, for coming through. May God bless your business, and let's continue to have these conversations on how we can create income from our ideas, from what we do. Yeah, we start small, and before you know it, you're going places and you're doing it. And if people like Aisha can do it, I believe that many of us can do it. So thank you so much. And feel free to also follow the Transformation Professionals Club on LinkedIn. You can be able to check out our website and also reach out to myself in case you have any questions, and we'll be able to see how to help. Otherwise, I wish you all the best in the rest of the night, and cheers, including our online audience that is catching this via YouTube. Thank you so much for joining, and may God bless you. Bye-bye.